I'll do it instead of Alex. Ha! You? Explaining in English? No way. You're just a high school dropout. But if you insist, well, I guess you can give it a try. Michael, the manager, said this, clearly mocking me. I quietly stepped forward and suddenly started giving a speech to the foreign visitors. In English, of course. Thank you for coming to our company today. My name is Mike, and I will be giving you an overview of our company. As I said this, Michael's eyes widened. Alex and the rest of our team were also surprised. So, let's get started with the explanation. With that, I began my talk. My name is Mike, and I'm 35 years old. Even though I only have a middle school education, I work at a major multinational company. It's honestly a stroke of luck that someone like me, a high school dropout, could land a job at such a big company. These days, it's almost certain that only those with decent college degrees can get a job here. It's clear that someone like me, with just a middle school education, wouldn't easily get hired. In fact, the chance of getting rejected in an interview would be almost 100%. So I never imagined I'd be able to join such a prestigious company. My life has been a bit different, and I've had some unique experiences. My mother passed away when I was young. My father had a job, but he was a heavy drinker, often too drunk to go to work. As you can imagine, our household finances were strained. But as a kid, there was nothing I could do about it. When I was about to graduate from middle school, my homeroom teacher, Mr. Smith, said, "You're smart, you should go to high school," but I replied, "I'd like to, but we don't have the money." Mr. Smith tried to think of ways to help, but nothing worked out. If my dad hadn't been like that, I could have gone to high school. If my mom had been alive, my dad wouldn't have ended up this way. These thoughts were always on my mind. Of course, dwelling on it didn't change anything, so it was pointless. However, I couldn't help but blame someone. Right after middle school, I started working at a steel factory. I worked there for about 5 years. I saved up the money I earned at the factory and decided to leave home. Well, leaving home was more like going on a solo trip for a while, but I planned to return home after the trip. I intended to travel until I ran out of money. In the end, it lasted a few years. I think I traveled around for about 3 years. I remember those days fondly. I sometimes think back on those times. Life was never easy, but I experienced a lot. Since joining this company, my life has become stable, and I'm fairly satisfied with how things are. I'm really proud to have joined such a big company, despite only having a middle school education. One night, our team leader, Alex, told me that our current manager, James, would be retiring at the end of the month. James has been here since I joined the company. Oh man, I've been under him since I started. It's going to be sad to see him go. Alex, who said this, is my team leader. He's in his late 30s and has gotten a bit chubby. He jokes, saying, "You can't lose weight once you hit middle age," but he's a cheerful person who laughingly says things like that. Has James been here that long? Yeah, 15 years ago, he was still a section chief. But he's been in the same department the whole time. We were really happy when he became the manager because he really cared about his subordinates. Alex sighed, looking disappointed. Do they already know who's going to be the next manager? Well, it's not decided yet, but there's a rumor that Michael might take over. If it's him, I might quit, Alex said with a wry smile. Why's that? I've heard he's caused problems in various places. You wouldn't want someone like that here, would you? That's true. Apparently, he graduated from Cambridge, and he has a thing against people with lower educational backgrounds. So if Michael transfers here, you better watch out too. Hearing that gave me a bad feeling. Soon after, James retired, and a new manager came. Alex's prediction was spot on. Michael arrived. Michael is a so-called elite who graduated from Cambridge University. He is in his 50s but looks a bit older. He was tall, skinny, and had a nervous-looking face. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael, and I'll be in charge of this department starting today. After graduating from the prestigious Cambridge University, I joined this company. From now on, I won't tolerate any slackers in this department. Let's work together to build a great team. Michael made an intimidating introduction. I looked over at Alex, who was clearly uninterested, massaging the right side of his neck with his left hand. Noticing this, Michael shouted, "Hey! You, the one slacking off. Step forward." Everyone turned to see Alex. In that moment, I thought, Alex has become the first target. Alex looked surprised but stepped forward as instructed. "Listen up, everyone." While I was speaking, this guy was massaging his shoulder. "Don't become a slacker like him. I despise lazy people. What's your name?" "Alex." "I see. I'll remember you. You can go back now." Alex returned to his seat, looking dejected. From then on, Michael started picking on Alex for various reasons, giving him unreasonable tasks and making sarcastic comments. One day, Alex caught a viral infection and was out of the office for about a week. During that time, Michael seemed bored as he had no target to harass. He came to my desk and said, "So, why do you think Alex is like that? Why do you think he's so lazy?" "Alex may seem that way, but he's a hard worker." "Are you joking? You've seen how he normally is, right?" "No, he may act that way, but Alex is genuinely good at his job. I respect him." Hearing this, Michael's eyes narrowed, and he said, "You respect someone like that? What's your name?" Even though it had been 3 months since his transfer and he didn't know his subordinates' names, I answered curtly, "Mike." "I see." Michael then returned to his office. Eventually, Alex recovered and came back to the department. "Good morning." Alex greeted everyone. "Are you feeling better, Alex? Did you get enough rest? It must have been tough, right?" Everyone in the department greeted him. Then Michael appeared. "Good morning." Everyone was so focused on talking to Alex that no one noticed Michael. Michael got annoyed, and he approached Alex. Then he said, "Oh, Alex. I didn't realize you were still with the company. I thought you might have retired." Hearing this, I couldn't help but blurt out, "You don't talk to someone who's just recovered from an illness like that." Michael turned to me and said, "You always have to talk back, don't you?" "I don't like that. Subordinates should follow their superiors, right? There are things I can follow and things I can't. I can't follow this." "Hey, Mike, it's okay. I'm not bothered, and you shouldn't." Alex tried to stop me, but it was too late. Michael, now furious, said, "Your name is Mike, right? You'll regret this later," and stormed back to his office. From then on, Alex was no longer the target, I was. Michael started picking on my work at every opportunity. Just recently, he complained about something like this. "Mike, come here for a moment." "Yes?" "The documents you sent to X Corporation were wrong, weren't they?" "No, they were correct." "No, they were wrong." "Why can't you admit your mistakes?" "I attached the documents that you approved, Michael. Are you blaming your mistake on me?" This comment infuriated me, but I thought it was pointless to argue, so I stayed silent. I had double-checked those documents and had Michael approve them before sending them to X Corporation. Seeing me stay silent, Michael said, "I heard you're a high school dropout. How did you manage to sneak into this company?" "What? A big company like ours wouldn't hire a trashy high school dropout like you. Did you use some connections?" He looked at me with a mocking smile. "This has nothing to do with work, so I'll take my leave," I said and walked out of his office. Returning to my desk, I reviewed the documents Michael had pointed out. To my shock, the documents for X Corporation had been switched with those of another company. There was no way I could have missed such a mistake. It was clear that someone had deliberately swapped the files. And the only person who could do that was Michael. But I had no proof. I was furious but decided to endure it for the time being. That evening, Alex invited me out for a drink. After work, we left the office and went to a small nearby bar. We started with a beer and toasted each other. After ordering various dishes and finishing our meal, Alex started talking. "Mike, are you okay?" "Okay? About what?" "You know, about Michael." "Oh. When I came back to work, you stood up for me." I was worried that Michael might be giving you a hard time because of it. Well, yeah, he has been. Weren't you also scolded?